Alright, welcome back to the SuperCoach Nuff channel. In today's video, we're looking at the Bulldog project for round 4. So as you can see, we scored 1,036 for the round, which was a bit below probably par. It says we're above average, but um, only boosting up 4,000 spots, um, still outside the top 80k, is probably not quite what we were aiming for this week. So if we take a look at the side first, so I guess along with our main Supercoach team, captaining Harry Grant didn't quite work out for us. So 44, but that's okay. Marnie 55, he's rock solid. So that's not going to change anytime soon. The combination there. So Max King 72. So it's pretty handy having a guy like this in your forward pack who just goes all day. Especially with the shortage of middle forwards. We've also now got New Brown missing in action due to I think dislocated elbow. It was something pretty gruesome like that. So Ryan Sutton, 41. It's not the best, but he's doing his bit for the team. Viliami Kickow, so 34. I guess there's not a lot of attacking stats out of the Bulldogs and Warriors game, so you've got to expect that sort of score. Katoa 96, so that's very nice. I think he's at right edge for the Storm. They're sort of putting a bit of attack through it. And obviously, he's going to be a part of that just with his damaging running ability, but also creating decoys for those outside guys. Jermaine Hopgood, so 77. That's just nice. We like that. The cash we're getting out of him is pretty sweet as well. Fatala Mariner 42. So, he's doing his job there, locked forward. Preston 42 as well. So, we'll take that. Preston's still making some cash, which is nice to see. So Cleary was 77. We could have probably took the VC option and made some points this week, but how are we to know that it would turn out that way? In Kyle Flanagan, 27. So Matt Byrne went back to kicking goals. So there's a little bit of a spike in price there, but I think there's no prizes for guessing that he's on the chopping block for this week with the options there at halfback. So speaking of which, Matt Byrne 50. So he's slowly working up into it, like I guess he did last season. So he is dipping in price, but he's a hold absolutely. Even with some of the options that are available there. So Reynolds still isn't playing. So Kraz 92. That's fantastic. Perham 63. So he's looking really good at fullback. Really happy with what he's doing. So happy to hold him. The Hammer 60. Nickel Clockstad 48. And so then on the bench, Avarillo was 62 as well. So that's he's doing well. He's making a bit of money for us. Alamotti's making money with 41. Tyrell Sloan did make us some money, but that pick hasn't quite gone the way we'd hoped it would. So that's okay. We've got some options around what we can do there. And then Turbo 58. So, it wasn't his 2 tons that he's got so far, but if that's his floor, we'll take that, absolutely. So I guess as well, because this team is starting to morph away from the actual squad, we'll have a quick look at the actual game. So there it is, 16-14. So 3 tries to 2 in the end. Probably a couple of the tries, particularly the first one for Vilea off the scrum. Pretty soft defence. You'd want to hope for better off the like around the goal line. But I guess full credit to them, they went well. So as you can see, most of the guys we've got. So I'll just go to the ones we haven't talked about. Ado Carr 58. that's about what you expect from the Fox. On a given week, Waddell, 34, so he's coming on and doing a job in the middle. Ockenbaugh, so it looks like he's playing a bit of middle forward. I know originally he was put in the second row when he was in the lower grades, but I think his defence sort of forced him out onto the wing. Um, but obviously, take advantage of his ball running abilities and that sort of thing. But yeah, he's starting to morph back into that, more of a forward player. So maybe, if he's playing in the middle, his defensive shortcomings might be sort of negated being around the boys like Reed Marnie and that sort of thing that are, and Max King, that are able to sort of help pick up the slack there. New Brown, obviously, with the injury, it's a bit sad. And then, space here because even though we don't seem to have a lot in the middle forwards, Jaden Tanner didn't get a run. So a bit of a head scratcher there, but I'm sure the coach has his reasons. Just have a look at the stats because I've forgotten who got the third try for the Warriors. Oh, Montoya, that's right. So Vilea, Johnson, and Montoya scoring. So I think the Montoya one was probably, not their best defensive effort either, but yeah, they'll get better. I guess this game 12 months ago would have been about 32 to 14, so or 32 to 4, and one of them got the try. Yeah, so it's still moving in the right direction, so we can't complain too much. But yeah, so then I guess the question that everyone else is asking this week is how do we turn Mr. Flanagan into Mr. Hynes? Go by averages because that's going to make it super easy to find him. So we need to come up with a fair chunk of change to make this happen. So it's obviously going to take 2 trades. I've already got the trade boost activated. Which one are we up to? So we've only got 2 left, so we're burning through the trade boost, but I guess part of the challenge is to get the team up and running as quickly as we can. So those trade boosts are really helping with that. So if we have a look at the sort of candidates, we've got for Mariner, so you can see he's dipping in price. He's playing in the middle, which sort of limits that attacking upside, which would be beneficial. And yeah, as long as the Bulldogs' injuries are the way they are, he's not moving on to that edge anytime soon. And even then, I think Jacob Preston's playing well enough to actually sort of hold him out. He could end up being part of the bench rotation, sadly, for Big Ray. Kick out is another one, so you can see he's quite low. He's dipping in price. And obviously, having that extra bit of cash over his head too makes it easier. Pangai's another option, so he's still a few weeks away. I don't know if we can hold this much cash on the bench for that long. So we might have to sort of part ways with TPJ, sadly. Or, maybe we get Sutton downgraded. Not that there's a lot of nice options. I guess even if we look at if we do trade out Sutton just to look. So again, you can see they're all quite highly priced. Start to look for maybe a reasonable option. Like Matt Croker seems to be okay based off that. Maybe he might have scored a try or something. Let's have a look at his stats. Because I know the Knights are another one that sort of have issues with their middle forwards, but this is looking very much all to be base. Line break assist, that's not much. So yeah, playing some good minutes too. So maybe we could use a bit of Matt Croker cash. Still got to make 300k though, so then I guess that obvious choice of like a Josh Schuster. So if we'd have to get rid of Kickow and go by break even. And so even then we couldn't afford it. So unfortunately, I don't think Ryan Sutton is the correct answer. As much as I hate to say it, it might be Kickow and Pangai. So I had two sort of X Factor players we might have to get rid of. I guess because we started with them, we do always have the option of bringing them back in once their price bottoms out, or like a Schuster tops out in price. Um, and then this obviously leads to the similar direction I've gone with most of the other teams, but I just think there's too much value to ignore and bringing in Jackson Ford. So, we could do it this way. Obviously, it means we miss out on our two big guns. Um, I think with Ford, actually, I haven't tested this, but for Talamarin or not, we're just short on Ray. And that sort of doesn't leave us a lot of options in that. Even swinging some cash out of the back line either. So I guess the argument against this, obviously, Hynes is good, but also the fact of the matter is that he's got one round and he's got a bye. So if we can sort of spend a few weeks or a couple more weeks making some cash, and then we can probably flip the switch a bit easier. So I guess the second option is to start looking at these guys that are sort of faltering a little bit. So ideally it'd be Faitala Mariner and Sutton. Swing TPJ into the forwards. But then we obviously are forward short in our starting team. So what I'm thinking is if we go to break evens, Schuster's in, Ford's in, wherever he is, he's about 22. He's at the break evens, there he is. We've got 350, which I don't think. Oh, actually, if we trade, that's 352 spend. Although we do want to try to bank as much as we can for the Hynes move. Probably should have done this by averages, but surely he's not that far up the list. He's a fair way up the list, Stefano. So he's already sort of capped out in terms of price, so might be much of a muchness trade between him and Sutton, if we're being honest. We want to either go down or we want to go way up. Maybe like a Polly's looked pretty good. Like his style, even a Thompson. Guess, just starting to see some of these guys have already made a lot of their money is a bit off-putting. Could get Jack Hetherington back in the Bulldog setup as a bit of an option. Guess ideally there'd be something like this guy, Isaac for Fasua Malawi. I'll keep butchering that name. Big Isaac, let's go with. He's brother of Big Tino. So it's probably not ideal, but we could probably just actually leave it. Well, we can't leave it, can we? That's the whole point. Maybe until we do work it out. Let's have a punt on Matty Croker. So, hang on, that's not TPJ. Sorry, I wanted Pele. So that still allows us to hang on to those. Yeah, no, Pele won't play big minutes, I don't think. So, not really worth worrying about, actually. We'll see if we can do it with Tanner. Um, so that leaves us with what, 235, which is about halfway to Mr. Mr. Hynes. So make that switch. There's got a lot going on in the second row. I would work with it. Just thinking maybe you can use Reynolds to put Schuster in at 5'8", but I don't think so. So I think maybe the option could be, I don't know, Khan Pereira's already made a lot of money. He's got a massive negative break even though, so maybe he's worth it next week after his buy, cashing out Avarillo. That could hopefully make us another 100k, so we're getting pretty close. Let's just go back to the list of players and have a look. So break evens. Peasant. So I'm pretty sure Jerome Hughes is only out for 1 week, but might be a sneaky little trade there actually. Or Tom Chester. We don't really have a fullback slot. Unfortunately, it would be nice to cash in on that for 1 week perhaps, but probably smarter moves. But yeah, Vilea, well, he's chance of making some money perhaps. Well, actually, just looking at that, he scored 100, but he scored 33 in the other. We'll give that a miss. Lemuela would be nice to have, but seems to be a luxury at the moment. Maybe Wakeham looks locked in at the Tigers, although 26 last week and part of the Broncos this week doesn't appeal. Marzu's way too highly priced for what we're after. After that, I think we're getting into all the non-starters. Yeah, so don't see a lot of big options next week, other than maybe like that Avarillo, maybe even Tyrell Sloan, probably not though. Out for Khan Pereira, cash in, do another little swap next week or 2 weeks time to get Cole Flanagan in. So I guess that's how the team sits. Obviously, trying to carry a couple of the boys was making things a bit difficult for us, but that's all part of the fun of the game, I suppose. So yeah, I know in my other sort of formats, I already got Hynes in the main SuperCoach team, and sort of looking to move mountains to get Hynes in for NRL Fantasy. He's already in Sports Deck. So yeah, it might be an opportunity to sort of sit one out this week, I think, in that sense, and just sort of see how we go. And then, after these bye, we'll definitely be getting him in. All right, but then in terms of the team this week, so not Schuster, Best Ford, and Alamotti will actually be Tedesco. Cool. So that's, I guess, yeah, the squads. We've got 2 gun hookers, 2 gun fullbacks. We could have 2 gun halfbacks, but I guess we want to try to make a bit more cash, so we'll go with the pretty gun second row forward slots. If you include these guys, that's cash cow guns. So, yeah. Oh, vice captain, captain. So we could try to be a bit different. Well, we haven't got Hynes as our captain, so Well, we haven't really got a lot else that's playing late, unless we just stick with like a Reed Money. Just bank his 50 or 60. So maybe yeah, I do like this sort of idea. What we could do is, yeah, we'll take that. I mean, if we get something like a probably Cleary, Desco maybe, Tommy Turbo maybe. Let's go with Cleary. We'll go Cleary. If he gets that 77, it's probably enough to bring Tavita Pangai in and lock him in as captain, and take the AE. Because just looking at the list, it'll be a Flanagan or a Sloan. That's probably not the worst in the world. Let's just roll the dice and see how it goes. Alright, yeah, I don't think we need to make any other changes. Pretty happy with that back line. And yeah, so there it is, the Bulldog project for round 4, heading into round 5. Obviously, feel free to comment if you think that we should be getting Hynes in, or if you've got another idea. Maybe we just go hard on fixing the front row. Um, if you've got any ideas around that, I would really like to hear them. But yeah, if you are loving the Bulldogs project, remember to like all the videos, subscribe to the channel so you get to tune in every week. And then other than that, I'll see you in the next one.